If you're used to working out, then you'll be used to seeing rep ranges. Have you ever stopped to think, what's the difference between these rep ranges? What's the difference between 6 sets of 5, 3 sets of 10, or even 2 sets of 15? They all accumulate 30 reps, but they do it very differently. So let's discuss. Let's go down to the very extreme bottom end of the rep range, 1 to 5 reps. Now, obviously, when you're lifting fewer reps, you can manage more load. And to lift that load, the brain has to recruit more muscle fibers to get the weight lifted. And that means the kind of fatigue you're going to experience is more central fatigue, as the brain can no longer recruit any more muscle fibers to get that weight lifted. When we go to the other end of the rep range to high reps, so 15 plus reps, at that end of the rep range, obviously it's much more endurance based. During this, the muscle has to contract repeatedly, and we start to get peripheral fatigue in the muscle as substrates build up in the muscle and the muscle is no longer able to do contractions. Now, when it comes to sets, it's all about accumulative work. So when you're doing high rep training, you've already got quite a lot of accumulative work from the reps. So you'll often see set ranges much less, 1 to 3 sets for high rep training. When you come down to low rep training, of course, you need more sets to get more accumulative work. Then questions come, what's the best rep range for building muscle? So research has shown that you can build muscle anywhere down as low as 5 reps, up as high as, say, 30 reps. So across your workout, you can really spread your training workload. The question then of what's better for strength, hopefully that should be fairly obvious. You can't really go heavier when you're doing 15 rep training because you've got to repeat that contraction so many times. So if you want to get stronger, it makes logical sense going down towards the lower end of the spectrum. But the reality is across your workouts, you should have a spread of volume to give your body different training stress. It's important to point out that some exercises lend themselves better to high rep training or low rep training. For example, dumbbell side raises you can't really do for 5 reps. So they lend themselves more to high rep. Whereas big lifts like squats or deadlifts, just by nature of the exercise, lend themselves better to low rep training. And then a question often comes, how many sets should I be doing per body part? So on arms or chest or glutes, how many sets should I accumulate across my exercises? So if I'm doing 3 exercises on chest, 3 sets per exercise, then I'm accumulating 9 sets total. And this is a bit of a gray area in the literature, but we want to be somewhere around the 6, maybe as high as 10 to 12 total sets per body part per week. But don't always think more sets is better. It's very common to see people do what we classify as junk volume, where they're either tired towards the end of the session or they just don't have the focus intent on the exercise and they're throwing the weight around with no conscious connection to the load. So in that scenario, you're better off doing fewer sets with more focused work and better intent on the movement to really push the muscle hard. Because the key here is that expression. Hard working sets close to the point of failure. That's what it's all about. So when you're doing your training, it doesn't matter if you're down at 3 reps or up as high as 15 reps. It's all about effort. So hopefully that answers some questions some of you might have around what the hell reps and sets are all about.